Hello, and welcome to Chief Architect Workshop. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks. Hello, today's video is sponsored by the letter E for edit. Today we'll learn about the edit video. Start with the do and undo menu. Redo and undo, which lets us recover from our errors if we decide to do something like, say, we accidentally build a wall in the middle of nowhere like that and go, whoops, I don't want that, I want to undo. So we click that and we're saved. And we go, wait a minute, no, I did want it. Redo. There she is. And let's look at next one, cut, copy, paste. Pretty obvious, similar to many programs. You can cut a window. Well, let's go next. Use our tab key. Let's take another example. Let's get rid of this. Let's see if we can get rid of this guy. Use our pointer. That. Edit. Cut. Gone. Put it back. Edit. Copy. So we'll pick this. We'll edit, copy, edit, paste, and we'll throw the other one right there. Grab the rotation handle and move it wherever you want. And we'll undo that. And undo the rotation again. Make it disappear. Next, we'll explore the delete menu item. Hit delete, point to that guy, hit delete, he's gone. I hardly ever use this. Usually you can just, let's undo this. Yeah, usually I just point to the object and hit the delete key on the keyboard. Gone. That's how I usually do deletes. Okay, delete objects. I don't think I've ever used this. Apparently you can delete objects. Say you really mucked up your electrical plan, totally want to switch it from incandescent to recess cans, and so you want to get rid of the whole Magilla. I guess just click on rooms, all floors, click electrical, and make it disappear. So that could come in handy. Or as you change the schedules, as you might want to. But the schedule is usually dynamic, and they will change. So hardly ever use this. A little more advanced. Let's not worry too much about that. All right, next we'll go to select objects, edit, select objects. So let's say we want to take this door and we want to slide that door. So we want to copy that door. We've edited it. Copy it. Edit, paste, paste, paste that door over here. I end up throwing doors. So replaces, and let's get rid of that with the undo key. Next, we'll work with the select key. Select all. So click on that. All the objects that have been sent to this layout sheet are now picked. And we can hit our delete key, and they all disappear. And then we want them back, so we undo it. Alrighty, next one we'll look at is the edit snap settings. Object snaps, angle snaps, grid snaps, snaps to the object, snaps to the angle, snaps to the grid. Never used that one. Endpoint, midpoint, center. I usually just keep all of these on. See how they're all highlighted? So, see, I just turned that off. Now turn it back on. So we want to keep all our snaps. Why do we want to do that? Say we have a skylight and we want to dimension it. Right there, the X says we're on the line. We've snapped to the endpoints there. That triangle means we've snapped to the midpoint. And now we've created a center line. And what we can do is, let's do a fun thing here. See if I have it here. No. All right, so we can't just edit that line. Pick that line like that. Go to our edit menu. Change it to a center line. Line style. Let's change it to a center line. Something like that. I like to color my center lines red, so I know that there's center lines. And now we've got a center line of the skylight. And we'll keep it there because we will dimension that to the center line. Okay. Okay, now the arc business, arc creation modes. I'm not going to worry too much about this. This is a little advanced, mostly 2D stuff, so let's not worry about that. You can experiment with that, but not hardly use it for working in chief. So don't worry about it too much. Okay, let's talk about the edit area button. Edit area, you've got these options. For the beginner, the newbie, I would just stick to edit area. Edit area visible is stuff that's only on, that you can see layers that are turned on. So typically we would use edit area visible. Say we want to copy this lounge area to a second floor for some reason. So we've hit edit area. Selected it. There's the edit area polyline. Edit, copy, move to the second floor. And we can go edit paste. And it brings up whatever was visible. Pops it on there. And we can use our point-to-point move to put it right where we want it. So I click on point-to-point, zoom to the point that we want, snaps to that point. See the little 0 and snap to that point. We are dead on with the second floor. So we can, and we really don't want to lounge on the second floor, so let's just undo that whole Magilla. The only reason you would use some of the other edits, and I rarely have used this, is if you want to copy the whole building. Sometimes maybe you're working on a townhouse plan. You want to copy all the floors at once. So you do all the floors visible, the layers you have turned on, or everything, all the information, and copy it. But that's a little bit more advanced, so just use that guy. Okay, the stretch CAD command, really a little too advanced. This is way too advanced. Let's just don't worry about that one at all. Okay, let's talk about the default settings. Edit. This is a biggie. Use this quite a bit. Hardly ever use the 3D view defaults. Let's not worry too much about them. Let's just see what they are. Let's not worry about it at all. Active defaults. Those are just the defaults that are current in the drawing. Right now we're using 1/8" scale annotations. That's just a quick way to whatever is active in the drawing. And we can change, we don't want to work at 1/8", we want to work at 1/4". So then we'll change the active to 1/4" annotations. Annotation sets. We have various sets, half-inch scale, 1/4", 1/8" electrical annotations. Hardly ever use these. For cabinets, sometimes we use those. Plot plan, use that quite a bit for architectural. It'll change it to different scale. Like for example, if we edit the text, and we'll see the text style, you'll see that the text is a 30-inch height. It's a pretty tall character, so because the plot plans are at a different scale, larger scale, so we need to beef up the text. That's the deal. Okay, what's nice about the annotations, say, for example, the plot plan annotations, is the plot plan dimensions and defaults live on a different layer. They live on dimensions plot plan. So you can turn on and off. If you're on your plot plan, you just turn the dimensions plot plan on and turn off the other stuff. And you can set defaults for that so you can quickly flip between on your default set. Let's go to the default set so you see what happens here. You can say we want to go to our plot plan set, and our plot plan set has those annotations. And then we want to flip back to our plan view or our default set. It has whatever current annotations we want to work on. If we want to work on 1/8 inch scale or 1/4 inch scale. We can also say go to our cabinets, and we want to set up our cabinets. Let's go to our general cabinet. Yeah, let's not worry about any of these. Yeah, base cabinet. What do we got for our base cabinet? Base cabinet defaults. Hello, waiting for that to generate. Here we are. And this is this style of cabinet that we have here, our cabinet style. But if we wanted to change the cabinet style, we could change the cabinet style. Custom face. We don't like that face. We can do something else. You just basically change the cabinets for our default, and we can change the material. Let's say we want to change the material or the color. We want to go with a white here. This is default set to white, which is a good one just for planning purposes. But we can switch the materials to a wood frame, etc. So as when we quickly draw a cabinet, it just all shows up in white for a default. CAD, never even worry about this too much. That's just what happens. For our format, the layer, that stuff, the CAD layer ends up, we could have different sort of information. We could change the defaults, but that's a little bit more advanced stuff. Let's not worry about that. Let's not worry about our revision clouds. All right, if we don't like the way the revision clouds look, let's don't worry about that. Camera tools. Never mess with any of these defaults. These are all just peachy. Don't worry about them. Corner trim. I don't need alone. Corner trim. Corner boards. Coins. Yeah, corner boards. 3.5 is nice. If we want to fatten them up, we can change them to 5.5. Fatten them up a little bit for our defaults. Coins. Hardly ever use coins. If you like your coins on the brick, different size for the coins, stagger them uniform. Never mess with that. Little advanced dimension. Often use these. I like to set the dimensions in the annotation sets, but you can mess with them here. Here we have auto exterior. Never. Those are fine. Whatever we want to use. I mean, maybe sometimes we want to. Just those are fine. Don't worry. Don't mess with any of this stuff. It's fine. Doors, again, just like the cabinets. You can set your default interior door, exterior door. This one is set for this 2-panel style, but you can change it to slab style as your default door. So before you start the project, if you know you're going to have, the customer wants a special door, they like the 5-panel door. You can go to your catalogs, pick a door. They like a 5-panel door. Let's say, old-fashioned 5-panel doors. I think is it this one? All right, this one. Which switches? Let's see if we can find my. We use 5-panel doors a lot. That's there's a 4-panel. There's a 5-panel. So that could become your default. And from there on out, every time you pop on a door, that's what it looks like. And you can change the material, bone, wood, etc. So that one comes in handy. Exterior doors. Yeah, usually I just edit these on the fly, but this is their default. like the default, pick something else, but I just edit. Go to the library, pick a door. I never worry about the default. For the front door, again, defaults for all that stuff. Dormers, don't worry about it, a little too advanced. Electrical, yeah, I don't think I've even opened that up. All right, the default is the recessed downlight 4. Anytime you pop in a light, it'll default to that. Okay, that's peachy. Floors and rooms. Okay, here's a biggie. I always edit these on the floor I'm on. So the current floor, I just use current floor, edit that, and it tells me what's going on here. What height I want, etc. The rough ceiling, these are all set for pre-cut stud heights, etc. So Chief is always thinking of wood frame construction. If you're doing commercial, then you don't need, you can change that to what your commercial dimensions are, etc. And this is a little topic, a little bit more advanced for a newbie, but not really. No, we really should set our ceiling heights, what our default ceiling heights are, etc. So this one I've got set at 9 feet. So anytime I pop in a plan, my ceiling always defaults to a 9-foot ceiling. Room types, how you want to. If you always want your bathroom to have a certain tile or whatever, I do these on a room by room basis as I'm drawing, and they're usually never set them in default menu. Foundation, so yeah, sometimes we'll have a block, sometimes we'll have a concrete. Options, I never mess with that too much. Always go with walls with footings is typically, slab thickness typical. Edit default foundation wall. Usually don't use an 8-inch concrete stem wall. Out and these parts, the code officials like 10 inches. Like 8, but if you're in the middle of Wisconsin, 8 is fine. So that's how you set that stuff. All right, framing, edit. So you can set what your spacing, ceiling structure, joist width, etc. I don't mess with this too much. Floor by floor basis, I will play with that. This is a little too advanced. Let's not worry about that. Let's not worry about that. Road, let's not worry about any of these. We just edit those on the fly. Let's not worry about our roof, schedules. That's a little more advanced topic. Stairs and ramps. The default is fine, and then you can always edit it as your, that's the default. The balusters sit on top of that guy. So that's fine. That's cool. And you can always edit that. In terms of your default menu, unless you're very certain what the stair is going to be, you can just leave that there, etc. Text callouts and markers. Again, here you can set the text tiles. I like different arrows for my dimensions, or for the way they point. So yeah, that's what I like to use there. That's what's been set. Chief does this. They do this little wimpy ass arrow that I don't like. So I've reset these the way. Yeah, they use. Yeah, sometimes that's okay. For 1/8 inch, that's fine. What do they use for 20th? So you got I hate this little arrow. I like a little bit more. I like a little bit more of a meat instead. See, they use that guy a lot, and I like to use that. It should be a little bit more graphic in my mind. So we'll just you can change that there. Okay, let's kill that. Done. Okay, here's a biggie. There's your drawing, depending on what you're doing. If you're doing block wall, you want your general wall. Yeah, general, don't worry about that. Exterior wall, you want your default exterior wall. If you're doing face brick, you want to do face brick. Here in this case, commercial building, I've set it to a foundation wall. But you can set your wall type to, let's say you're just doing brick and block, brick 6, 5.5-inch stud, 4-inch brick. That's your default wall. So every time you draw an exterior wall, that's what it looks like. You want a stucco wall. If you're using 3.5-inch studs, here I've created my own wall type, demolition wall that I'm demolishing with little X's. So you can play with that, etc. Window is something that Chief comes up with the double hung default. This is so you can for commercial you might want to go with a fixed as your default. Casement, whatever you want to, whatever style from here on out as you're drawing the plan, you want to pop in the windows that you'll be using. If you're trying to something a little bit more traditional, you want to use double hung probably. If you're doing a little something more contemporary, you probably want a casement. So that's where you change it. The preferences menu, edit preferences. I just wouldn't mess with any of these if you're a beginner. And I hardly ever mess with these unless I really want to change it. Just keep it all. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And that covers edit menu. Thank you for checking out Chief Architect Workshop. Please remember to go to our YouTube channel, Chief Architect Workshop, and subscribe.